Well, ladies and gentlemen, Monday Night Raw for August 24th, 2015 has just gone off the air, and I felt it necessary to podcast here. Well, not really podcast, but just record my thoughts on this epic Monday Night Raw. Well, maybe not for some people, but in my opinion, this was just... Alright, let's start from the top. At WWE headquarters, earlier today, Triple H toured Seth Rollins around, just to show off the Bruno Sammartino, Ultimate Warrior, and Andre the Giant statues. And Triple H said that, as promised, Rollins would get his statue tonight. And he also said that it was the biggest moment of Rollins' career. Or Rollins said that it was the biggest moment of his career, my bad. And Rollins was told by Triple H that he wasn't the future. Once he gets his statue, he is the man. And then you get your opening video. Cole, JBL, and Saxton on commentary. They were talking about a rematch for tonight from last night. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Jon Stewart explaining his actions for what he did at SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman came out. They took a shot at the broadcast team, which I thought was funny. Lesnar had a huge cut scab on his forehead from last night. The fans were chanting Suplex City. Heyman introduced himself, as always, and the crowd said his name along with him, because it's sing along with Paul Heyman. Heyman said that he is pissed off. He is the, quote, pissed off advocate of the, quote, pissed off beast of Barclays. And Heyman said that it was an undeniable fact that Lesnar took Taker to Suplex City and that he locked him in a Kimura. Heyman showed the footage on the big screen on the Titantron of Taker tapping. He said the video does not lie. He says that he understands how uncomfortable it is for the fairy tale to end. He is a father. And then he said that there's no Santa Claus or Easter Bunny, yada yada, whatever. Heyman said that the idea of Taker being immortal is a fable, and he tapped out to Brock Lesnar. Heyman said that his client doesn't blame the referee or the timekeeper who, in his words, freaked out. They showed the timekeeper and the crowd booed loudly. It was crazy. And then Heyman said, "Only in Brooklyn do you boo compassion." Because he was talking about how the timekeeper showed compassion for Taker because Taker was about to get his arm broken off. And Heyman said that Lesnar was going to break Taker's arm off and beat him over the head with it, which I laughed at. Heyman asked if they should talk about the footage of Taker passing out on his way to the back again. He said, "It's all over the internet. I have enough material to last all 3 hours of Monday Night Raw." And the crowd started chanting because, just like me, I wanted to see 3 hours of Paul Heyman cut promos because that would be amazing. Heyman said that Lesnar put Taker in Hell's Gate. He said because Taker wanted and needed Lesnar to submit, Lesnar told him, "Go fudge yourself." But he said GFY. It's funny. Heyman said that he can shoot with anyone in the WWE locker room, but he can't shoot with Lesnar. Heyman said Heyman said Lesnar wants to fight Taker one more time. He said not next week, not next year, not next month, not next pay-per-view, not on Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. He wants to fight him right now. And they waited and they waited. The fans chanted. The fans were, I don't know, they were excited. I'm getting all this mumble jumbled. I only have a little bit of bullet notes written down. The fans were excited to see Bo Dallas come out, as was I, because I knew that Bo Dallas was about to get broken in 67 pieces. Bo was telling Lesnar to Bo leave, and then Lesnar clotheslined him, 3 German suplexes to him, walked away, or he didn't walk away yet. The fans asked for one more. Lesnar gave them one more. Then he left. Heyman followed. Music played. Lesnar turned around, got another German suplex, And then the fans chanted one more time. They booed when Brock and Heyman left. Heyman stopped and asked him to deliver one for him. And then he went back in the ring and picked up Bo and gave him an F5. The broadcast team hyped Miz TV with PCB and the New Day facing the Lucha Dragons. And we're just going to skip through all the basics of the New Day match. Just skip right to the end here. Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods beat the Lucha Dragons. And then after the match, Pyro shot off the stage, and I was like, what? New Day have Pyro now because they're so happy about them winning? But then Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley came out, and I popped loudly, and I ran around my room. I did like 6 laps. I felt like Bo Dallas running around the ring, except for the part where I didn't get beat up by Brock Lesnar. The Dudleys cleared the ring of the New Day. Bubba yelled, "Get the tables." Devon got the table, and they 3D'd Woods through that table. They went to ringside and yelled at the primetime players who were on commentary, and then went back to the ring and celebrated. And then the broadcast team was talking about how Jon Stewart would be explaining why he screwed John Cena over at SummerSlam. The broadcast team then set up a video package that focused on Cena's 500th Make-A-Wish that he granted, and I thought that was one of the coolest video packages that they've done in a while, and I really liked it. The kid that he granted the 500 wish to, his name was Rocco Lanzer, I believe, and he was in the front row wearing John Cena gear and telling the camera that they could not see him. Then we cut to a backstage segment. Triple H and Stephanie admired the Rollins statue. Rollins was going to enter, but they quickly covered the statue up. Rollins, they talked back and forth about how Seth Rollins is the man, and then Rollins said, "I love you guys," and then left the room without seeing his statue. Reigns made his entrance for the tag match, and, we're just going to skip to the end here. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose beat Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper by DQ because a masked man, a huge dude with long hair wearing a black sheep mask, stood on the ring apron. He unmasked himself, entered the ring, and attacked Roman Reigns. He just manhandled Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and it was scary. The big guy is Braun Strowman. He did a couple things for WWE. He appeared sporadically on NXT, and he was a Rosebud. Imagine that, a Rosebud is now a member of the Wyatt family. And then the Miz TV segment. Miz pointed out Becky won their match last night. She cut him off and said it's not about who pinned who. She spoke about being a unit and that her father taught her that. And then she held up 4 fingers and spoke about the 4 horsemen being the greatest unit in history. And, well, she said in WWE history, but I didn't know that the 4 horsemen were in the WWE. So, yeah, that happened. And then the women were talking about how women's wrestling is now, one of the best things going today. Charlotte was talking about how they would take on any man or woman. Becky Lynch piped in and said they would take on any ghost, cyborg sent back from the future, dinosaurs. Then Paige cut her off. The Bella Twins came out, and Nikki said that their claim of dominance is like Donald Trump celebrating Cinco de Mayo. PCB's claim of dominance is like Donald Trump celebrating Cinco de Mayo because it's not going to happen. And then they brawled, and Miz tried to break it up, but, whatever. Miz is Miz. And then that led to a 6-diva tag team match. The entire match can be summed up by one statement. We want Sasha. And that's going to lead me to the end of this match. The Bella Twins and Alicia Fox beat Paige, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. So it was weird, but whatever. And then we were shown a graphic for something that was going to kill my mood. An 8-man tag team match: Ryback, Ziggler, Cesaro, and Orton versus Sheamus, Owens, Rusev, and Big Show. Goodness me. So Stardust and King Barrett were introduced for a tag match, and they were getting ready for their opponents to come out, and then Stardust assaulted King Barrett like a tool, because why not? And then the crowd started chanting, Cody, Cody, Cody. Neville came down, fought with Stardust, set up the Red Arrow, and then Stardust left. And then that was it. So, weird. Yeah, I know. It's kind of quick. Then the commentary team talked about ESPN covering SummerSlam, and how, quote, news outlets around the world picked up the story of Jon Stewart attacking Cena and costing him his championship match with Seth Rollins. And because they never show footage for some reason, they only showed still shots of Rollins and Cena, and then they showed a shot of Jon Stewart walking backstage. Then they had a recap of the Dudleys and the New Day, and it was narrated by the broadcast team. They announced that the Dudleys will appear Thursday on SmackDown, which I popped for because I actually watched SmackDown. I'm one of the 10 people. Jon Stewart came down to the ring with the Daily Show theme song, and I don't know, by this point the crowd was kind of out of it because the Divas, in my opinion, took them out of it, but he was in the ring. He got a "Thank you, Stewart" chant. He said that some of the fans were happy, and then the crowd erupted. He said, for those whose children weren't upset and didn't know who the mean old man was, he didn't do it for Rollins or the Authority. He did it because he couldn't let Cena tie the record of the great Ric Flair. And then cue Ric Flair, who came out, and they were celebrating in the ring. Goodness me. Flair hugged Stewart once he entered the ring. Flair said he appreciates Stewart, but he was pulling for Cena, and added that he respects him. The fans booed. Flair said they better learn to love it because it's coming from the best thing going today. Flair said, quote, God is in the house. Flair said Stewart has messed up everything. Stewart said that he was saving the streak. John Cena's music played. The streak being the 16 World Championships. John Cena came out, and loud John Cena sucks chants. My goodness. Stewart was, he played this well. He was just about to crap in his shorts, or in his pants, whatever it was. Cena looked very, very angry. He thanked the crowd for the, quote, energetic serenading, unquote. And he said it was time for business. Stewart sheepishly, like a coward, asked what he wants to talk about. The fans chanted, Cena sucks. Cena sucks. Like New Day rocks. Alright, whatever. Funny. Cena said he is at peace with Stewart, not wanting him to tie the record. Quote, because of what you did, do you realize that Seth Rollins is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and he is now the United States Champion? Stewart then said he didn't think it through, as if it matters. Cena spoke about how he pried the U.S. title from the hands of Rusev, and gave chances to wrestlers the fans wanted to see, like Ambrose, and Cesaro, and Kevin Owens, and Neville, and Stardust. And then Jon Stewart, cracking jokes, said, you seem upset. And he did the you can't see me, and asked Flair if he could still see him if he did that. And then Flair kind of looked at him. He was like, no, he can see you. Cena told him it's not a comedy show, and that's when I knew that this was a serious Cena promo, and that we were going to get something good, because serious Cena is good Cena. Stewart said it was a beautiful match with Rollins, and he said he respects that Cena is a fighting champ. Stewart said that he hasn't been a fan for so many years, or he has been a fan for so many years, and as good as Cena is, he couldn't handle him seeing he couldn't handle seeing him tie Flair's record. Cena said now both title belts are in the hands of the Authority. He said they don't listen to the fans and just do what's best for business. Stewart told Cena he could win the title back, and he said that Tonight is Cena's moment, and Stewart's moment was last night. Cena said Stewart did what he needed to do now, and Cena had to do the same. And then the inevitable happened. Cena lifted Jon Stewart up and gave him an AA and left the ring and angrily threw his hat off because angry John Cena is angry. He was held to his feet by referees and officials and walked to the back, and Ric Flair was smirking and laughing, and it was funny. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And then they showed a clip of the Andre the Giant statue being unveiled and said that Rollins will get his own statue later. They hyped the 8-man tag match for after the break. Byron Saxton hyped the season finale for Tough Enough for tomorrow, which is Tuesday the 25th, which who cares about Tough Enough when Madden NFL 15 is coming out. Hashtag cheat pop. Or cheap plug, whichever way you want to go, if you popped or not. The broadcast team was talking about Cena, Flair, and Stewart again. And then Renee Young was backstage talking to Cena about giving Stewart an AA. Cena said he was doing what he thought was right. He said he would have another talk with Seth Rollins later in the show. Ugh. And then, excuse me, we went back to the ring for the 8-man tag. Seth Rollins. Dolph Ziggler came out with Lana. Lana was wearing the same thing she wore last night. And for some reason, Dolph Ziggler took it upon himself to wear leggings. Why? I have no clue, but whatever. He was followed by Cesaro, Ryback, and Randy Orton. And then we had, I believe the order was Sheamus, Rusev, Kevin Owens, and Big Show. Could be wrong. Or it might have been Rusev, Kevin Owens, Big Show, Sheamus. I have no clue. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Let's just skip to the end of this match here. Ryback, Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, and Randy Orton beat Sheamus, Kevin Owens, Rusev, and Big Show. Good Lord. I hope that I said all those names right the way that I should have. Alright. Late in the match, Orton ducked a KO, or not a KO, yeah, a KO punch. Derp. My goodness. Everything is the same from Big Show, I just forget. So Orton ducked the KO punch, and it connected with Sheamus. Orton hit the RKO and pinned Sheamus. All the heels argued. Show shoved Owens and Cesaro. They teamed up on him while Rusev whipped Owens into Show for Cannonball. After the other heels left, Ziggler super kicked Show, then Cesaro and Ryback pressed Show for Orton to perform the RKO. That was insanity watching these two guys lift Big Show up and then drop him into an RKO. It was absolutely immaculate. And then they showed footage of Taker, Lesnar, and they blurred out the middle finger, which was, to be expected. And then they showed some more footage of Bruno Sammartino getting his statue revealed. And then Michael Cole hyped Rollins getting his own statue. And then they recapped Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, their match with Harper and Wyatt. And then Bray Wyatt had a promo with Luke Harper standing in the background. And then they introduced Braun Strowman. And Wyatt said that he is, quote, Abigail's black sheep. Backstage, the Authority, well, pretty much Stephanie McMahon, spoke with John Cena. And Stephanie mockingly, keyword, congratulated Cena for beating up a man he outweighs by 100 pounds. He said he was going to step up in weight class by talking with Rollins. Stephanie had security escort him from the building, and that was the last that we saw of John Cena. So he never would get his hands on Seth Rollins. Poor old John Cena. The covered Rollins statue was being brought to the ring as footage of the Ultimate Warrior statue unveiling was shown. And they had Lil Nate out there working on the ring. I noticed that. They don't think that I notice these things, but I do. He was taking off turnbuckles and then putting them back together because he picks things up and puts them down. On another hand, the statue was covered in the ring. H and Stephanie came out. Stephanie said she would get in trouble for this. and then they sang happy birthday for the now 70-year-old Vince McMahon. And they got the fans to sing happy birthday, and the commentators were standing up, and it was awful. My goodness. Hunter said, quote, Vince is so pissed off right now that it's not even funny. Hunter got back to business, though, by singing the praises of Seth Rollins. Hunter said Rollins has hustle, loyalty, and respect. That's paraphrasing. He said Rollins is a winner, unlike some people, nodding to John Cena. He said Rollins will do whatever it takes to win, and thus he is a dual champion. Hunter said Rollins deserves to be immortalized in bronze. Quote, no longer the future, let me bring out the man, Hunter said before introducing Rollins, who made his entrance. And then Rollins came out, and he was being typical of Seth Rollins, you know. Oh, I just clicked my mouse, what the heck? You know. Oh, wow, I said you know twice. My bad. So, Rollins came down, you know, in his, oh my goodness. He came down in his dress clothes with both belts. He wore the US around his waist and the WWE on his shoulder. He thanked the Authority and everyone in the building and everyone in the WWE universe. Rollins said that he is joining the Mount Rushmore of WWE. He said it might be bigger than a Hall of Fame induction, and then compared it to Monument Park at Yankee Stadium. And then he worked in a jab at the Brooklyn Nets, which I found was funny, as someone who lives in New York. Rollins acted choked up, you know, because what else are you going to do in these kind of segments? And said that he would become immortal with the unveiling of the statue. Rollins continued to lay it on thick by saying to be the man, you have to beat the man, which is exactly what he did last night. Said he couldn't wait anymore, asked the fans if they are ready in Triple H style by, you know, saying it twice. They had a drum roll, and when they raised the curtain, Sting, yes, the same Sting that Triple H pedigreed to death at WrestleMania, was standing on the platform. Seth Rollins looked shocked, and there was a holy shit chant that died a death. Seth Rollins eventually threw punches at Rollins and Hunter. Stephanie made their exit. Or as Rollins and Hunter and Stephanie made their exit. My bad. Wait, I completely botched that. Hunter and Stephanie left, and Rollins was in the ring with Sting. Sting performed a splash and then clotheslined him over the rope. Sting picked up the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and pointed at Rollins. Sting's entrance music then played. And then Michael Cole announced that Triple H would be on the WWE Network for an interview, and then they recapped the angle, and JBL, being JBL, the Buzzkill, said that the WWE World Heavyweight Championship is the one title that Sting has never held. You know, the Intercontinental title, the tag team titles, you know, just a thought. I didn't watch the backstage segment, so I don't know. But I will try to load a recap of that right now. Alright, I got one, so I'm just going to paraphrase this so I don't get into any trouble. Renee Young asked Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and a furious Seth Rollins for their reactions to Sting. Hunter said that he should have finished Sting at Mania. Hunter said Sting should be careful about what he wishes for. He said Sting will get Seth Rollins at Night of Champions. Hunter got worked up and slapped Rollins on the shoulder. Then Rollins yelled that he is going to finish Sting at Night of Champions. Raw. Okay, the first hour of Raw was awesome. But the Divas match and the Divas Miz TV segment killed me. Got me so thrown out of it. I was so quiet. I was on my phone the entire time. They could not get me to watch that segment. It was awful. It was a very newsworthy show. That final segment was awesome. A new debut. Return from the Dudley Boys. So, let's just go back up to the top here. Xavier Woods, Big E, and Kofi Kingston. My thoughts, I enjoyed this. The match was alright, but Devon and Bubba Ray coming out makes it the great match that it was. And then Braun Strowman coming out, I think was fine. He killed everyone, and it was awesome. So I like that. Roman Reigns getting killed is always fun. And then, oh my goodness, there's so much stuff to cover on this show. I'm just gonna go right to that 8-man tag. The 8-man tag. The crowd got into the match, so they were prepared for their main event segment. You know, the ending of that was fine with, or not fine. I really liked it actually with Cesaro and Ryback lifting up, or the Ziggler super kick, and then Cesaro and Ryback lifting up Big Show into an RKO. I really liked that. That was fine. And then the main event segment with Rollins and Sting, I really liked because that sets up a new, fresh match that we haven't seen before. We aren't getting Seth Rollins, John Cena, United Champions, which is weird. Really, really weird. Really, really, really weird, actually. But, I don't know. Overall, I give this Raw a B+. I will give it, I'm rating it higher than I rated SummerSlam last night, just because the debut and the return of Sting and the Dudleys makes it better than SummerSlam, in my opinion. So that's it for my Raw recap. My voice is hurting. I'm tired. I want to go to bed and sleep on this so I can wake up tomorrow morning and play some Madden 16 and hopefully film some Madden 16 for my YouTube channel. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this Raw analysis and review here on the Sheriff's Office Podcast, episode 2. It's kind of weird how I had that rapid fire be like boom, boom, both on the same day, technically. But please remember to comment down below your thoughts on Monday Night Raw, the big returns, and the big debut. Like the video and subscribe for more. Also, share the channel and share this podcast with your friends because it is the #1 way to help the channel. Yeah, this is it for me, VengeanceHD and the Sheriff's Office Podcast. Please make sure to tune in next time, and I will see you guys later. Peace out and goodbye.